We often think of historical women as passive figures, sitting quietly on the sidelines while history happened around them. But look at the front lines today. To see where those assumptions of passivity came from, we have to go back to the very first pages of Western storytelling. Foundational myths and early texts drew hard, explicit lines around what a woman was allowed to be. But if we only read the rules society wrote for women, we completely miss what women actually did. There is a massive gap between the passive roles assigned to them by these texts and the lives they actually lived. Welcome to a 16-week exploration of that gap. We are going to investigate how women have constantly pushed against those boundaries to forge their own agency. Instead of marching through a standard historical timeline, we are going to look at 3 specific, highly distinct battlegrounds where the rules of womanhood were tested and broken. Our first battleground is antiquity. How do you find agency in a world where patriarchal structures quite literally write the governing laws of your entire society? We will start by digging up the Garden of Eden, using the Bible as a literary text to analyze how traditional boundaries around gender were first created and codified into law. Alongside those foundational readings, we'll dive into the red tent, using it as a counter-narrative to see the ancient world from an entirely different perspective. You will see how women navigated those rigid systems to carve out their own sacred spaces, hidden places where they could find community, belonging, and real influence. Even thousands of years ago, women actively constructed their own cultural power centers, asserting influence within the very systems designed to limit them. Then we jump straight into the 21st century. The fight for agency moves out of those hidden cultural spaces and directly onto the physical battlefield. Through the lens of Ashley's War, we are going to examine women shattering the historical constraints placed on military service. We will look at soldiers operating in grueling environments, doing the heavy lifting in combat zones to challenge deep-seated assumptions about modern warfare. These specialized teams had a critical impact on the outcomes of global conflicts, bringing unique tactical advantages right to the front lines. This evolution in combat proved that women excel in the high-stakes reality of frontline conflict, dismantling the myth that warfare is exclusively a male arena. From the battlefields of today, our final stop takes us into a speculative future, where the primary battleground shrinks down to the physical body itself. We will use Margaret Atwood's The Handmaid's Tale as a lens to examine total societal control over women. We aren't reading this dystopia as a literal prediction of the future, but as a powerful lens. It helps us diagnose our deepest contemporary anxieties about women's roles right now. We will critically evaluate the intense politics surrounding bodily autonomy, and will confront just how fragile societal progress can actually be when put under pressure. But even within a system designed for total suppression, this final text exposes a spirit of resistance that simply refuses to break. The narrative of womanhood reflects a complex, ongoing negotiation for space and rights, rather than an inevitable march toward progress. Whether they are carving out a space in an ancient tent, holding a rifle in a dusty trench, or navigating a totalitarian regime, women have had to be relentlessly adaptable to survive. That is the core takeaway of this course. Society has always tried to define exactly what women are supposed to be, and women have continuously redefined those roles for themselves. By the end of this semester, you will walk away with a powerful analytical framework to evaluate both the vulnerability and the immense strength of the society we live in today. I look forward to spending the next 16 weeks engaged in deep discussion and critical discovery with all of you. Welcome to the class.